So what do you do when you get in your car and your shift lever will not move? You're stuck in park. Let's check it out. The problem that you're likely experiencing, if you've started your car, it starts just fine and it's locked in park. The first thought is that maybe you have a transmission problem or something like that. It's actually not that big of a deal to fix. More than likely, your problem is actually your brake light switch. This is the one out of my F-150. They're going to be similar in most automatic transmission vehicles and later ones anyway. And what they do is they control when you press on, they're attached to the top of the brake pedal. When you hit the brakes or depress the brake pedal, they activate and cause your brake lights to come on. These switches go bad. So when they do, they've actually got a mechanism that the wiring connects into the shift lever, and it doesn't let you put the car in drive because effectively you don't have any brake lights at that point. So it's a safety mechanism to keep you from driving without brake lights. There are ways to override that if you're in an emergency situation and you need to just get the vehicle moved. Or if you need to get it into neutral where you can tow it, pull it up onto a trailer or have it towed or whatever, you've got to move the vehicle. You have to get it out of park in order to do so. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to talk about I'll show you on the F-150 where this brake light switch is. It's super easy to fix. And then also how to override to actually get the car in gear. I want to point out that I'm not suggesting that you override and drive around with no brake lights. Please don't do that. I'll talk about the repair first. This is not a difficult repair, and really it is not something that, unless you just don't have a way of doing it yourself, this is not something you should have to take your vehicle to the shop for. These switches are a few bucks, I don't know, $20, $30, $40, depending on the model and everything. And they're very easy to replace. I'll show you how to replace it on the F-150 real fast. I've actually disconnected mine that I had recently replaced to simulate mine being broken. It wasn't actually broken because I've already swapped it out. But there's a wiring harness that's going to come down and connect to the brake switch. Here's the brake pedal here, right? Follow the brake pedal up, and up here is this little guy. So this on the F-150. This actually connects in, push it in, and it actually turns counterclockwise to get it into place. You do want to make sure that both sides are connected. So earlier I said that the brake pedal depresses that plunger. It actually doesn't in this case. The plunger stays depressed, and then when I press on the brake pedal, it releases that plunger. So as you press the brake pedal, that plunger moves out just a little bit. That's what tells the brake lights to come on, and it also releases the safety mechanism on the shift lever. Now that you kind of understand what the brake switch is doing and how to replace it, that part is you disconnect the cable and put the new one in place and plug it back in. It's super, super easy. If you take it to the shop, they're going to charge you the part plus some labor. I don't know. I've seen prices anywhere from $50 to $250 to swap that out. And some of them may be more complicated than others. Certainly on the F-150, it's super easy. So now let's talk about how to override in case you really need to. Maybe you're sitting in a drive-through, the bank drive-through or whatever, and you put your car in park and then you get ready to go and you can't put it in gear. That's when the switch happens that decided to fail. I'll show you a couple ways to override. I happen to have, it's different on the CR-V and the F-150, so I'll show you that real quick. But disclaimer, don't drive around without your brake light switch, because that means you're driving around without brake lights. Please don't do that. This is only so that you can get the vehicle put into neutral so it can be towed, or put it into drive so you can pull it up on a trailer, or if you just can't fix it yourself, you can at least get it in drive, have somebody follow you, do something safe to get it to a shop so that they can fix it. But you're probably going to need to override the shift lever to some extent if this happens to you, at least to get it out of the way. On the F-150, in the steering column underneath this plastic housing is where the safety mechanism is. get that guy out of the way. If you know where it is, it's actually up in there and you can get to it somewhat this way. But I'm going to take this off and show you exactly what's happening. Okay, so this little plunger right here, that's what you're looking for. So hopefully I've reconnected my brake switch correctly. If I have, then when I push the brake pedal, this little plunger will pop out just a little bit and it'll allow the gear shift to go in place. That's all it takes. So when I depress the brake pedal, the plunger pops out, then I can put the car in gear. Without the brake pedal, that plunger does not pop out and it goes nowhere. So if you want to manually override that, it takes two hands. You simply take one hand and pull it out. I don't know. Try to do that in film at the same time. This will be super creative. So I'm not going to press the brake pedal. Pull that out by hand. There we go. In vehicles with a center console gear shift as opposed to one on the steering wheel, like this is our Honda CR-V, then you'll see a little cover like this somewhere close to the center console gear shift. And if you pop this little guy out, be careful because it's going to be spring loaded. It'll go flying across the room. Then down inside there is going to be a little button that you can push. And typically what you do, this is designed so that when the car is turned off, you can take the ignition key, push that button, and then that will allow you to get the gear shift into neutral. So that's really all there is to it. If you get in your car and it won't go into drive, don't panic. You can have somebody stand behind you, see if the brake lights are coming on. If they're not, then your brake light switch is bad. Find the override, get it into gear, get it out of the way, and then figure out if you need to go catch a ride down to the parts store, get the brake light switch. You can replace it with no tools in most cases, certainly on the F-150. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this helped you out, and I appreciate all my subscribers, and you guys have a great day. See ya.